Welcome to the Woodpreneur podcast, the #1 podcast for the business and marketing side of the lumber, woodworking, hardwood flooring, and sawmill industry. I'm your host, Steve from Acres of Timber. Each week, we feature various wood business owners and entrepreneurs from around the globe. We share their stories, paths, insights so that you can network, learn, and grow your own wood business. Thank you so much for listening. Now enjoy the episode. Hey, welcome to a brand new episode of the Woodpreneur podcast. This is your host, Steve Larziliere, and today's guest is Andy Weld from Rovan Furniture. How you doing, Andy?
Good. How are you doing, Steve?
I'm well, thank you. I'm excited to talk to a fellow Midwesterner. So why don't you tell everybody about Rovan Furniture?
Yeah, Rovan Furniture is just a humble little custom furniture company, and yeah, we're based here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And by custom furniture, really, it's any kind of custom woodworking, not necessarily furniture anymore. That's how we started out intending to be, but it's evolved into all kinds of other millwork projects, built-ins. Although we do love building freestanding furniture still. But yeah, everything is custom, handmade here in Minneapolis at our shop in Seward neighborhood, if anybody's familiar. It is Minneapolis proper. It's this fun little kind of residential neighborhood with a little industrial area, and we're really happy to be in that area. A lot of creativity going on there. But yeah, so we furnish restaurants and bars and coffee shops and offices and hotel lobbies, and that's kind of the commercial side of the business.
Yeah.
But there's also a whole residential side as well that, high-end dining tables, credenzas, kind of built-in shelving, anything you can imagine along those lines. And right now it's about 50-50 commercial and residential. We don't like to corner ourselves into one side or the other just because there's pros and cons to both sides of it. We love doing both. But we love the opportunity to work with designers on residential projects as well as commercial spaces. So good
That's
to change it
awesome.
up. Yeah.
How'd you get started? And what year did you start?
So launched the company Rovan Furniture in 2013. So we're actually
Wow, 10
celebrating 10
years.
years. Yeah, I know. Yeah, we're celebrating 10 years this year. And we have some fun stuff we're trying to roll out before the end of the year in celebration of that. But,
Mm-hmm.
things like custom. I'll talk about that maybe a little later, but I don't want to release anything too soon. But
Yeah.
so yeah, how did we get started? Well, ultimately, I started building drums back in high school. I've been a drummer before I was ever a furniture builder.
Yeah.
And it's funny how, the common theme between drums and furniture is they're both oftentimes built out of wood. And
Mm-hmm.
so I started building drums and tinkering in the garage at home in Cedar Falls, Iowa. Um, and after graduating high school, I was like, I got to get out of Iowa, and moved up to Minneapolis and got a job at a furniture restoration shop. Um,
Okay.
and I knew nothing about woodworking other than just I like to build drums and do that kind of thing. But uh, learning how to restore old furniture like really sparked this just idea that can like be a career. And it's
Yeah.
something I had never even thought of prior to that. Right? It's
Yeah.
like, um, yeah, spark went off. I wasn't sure what I was doing. I was like, I don't know what I want to study for school or anything. Got that job, and fortunately, this shop in St. Paul kind of took me under their wings and like taught me everything they know, and which was huge. But I was like, I want to build custom furniture and kind of get away from the restoration side of things. So I then moved to Denver, Colorado for a couple of years and studied fine woodworking out there. Um, and that's kind of like a fast track to fine woodworking 101 and a little bit of furniture design.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but after graduating that program, moved back to Minneapolis here in 2013. So that's when technically started Rovan and just hit the ground running. Um, Highs and lows all the time, but here we are,
Yeah.
still doing it.
That's a pretty cool story. And what were those? What made you decide to do it on your own?
Um, I had this just a drive to do it on my own, right? I mean, um, I didn't know, but I kind of have this entrepreneurial spirit, right? And
Yeah.
actually, back in 2013, I was so naive. I was like, I'm going to start a company,
Yeah. Yeah.
completely like
I
oblivious
know.
to knowing what that really means, right?
Honestly, that's one of the things that I think about for myself. I was like, my first started my own business, and you're young and naive, and that gives you there's so much benefit to that, but you also lose
Absolutely.
a lot of money and you make a ton of mistakes, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I always think like if I were to start another company now, a
Mhm.
lot wiser, I hope, than I was back then. I
Yeah,
don't know if I'd be brave enough to do it. I think I would still, but it's like back then I was just so, yeah,
yeah,
so fresh into the world. I was like, yeah, let's do this. So yeah, as in turn, you learn a lot in 10 years, right? And
you lose a
so
lot of
really
money.
fortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah, just fortunate to still be doing it. And
Yeah, no, no,
life
no. I mean,
experiences are
that's a
priceless.
big milestone. 10 years. That's a
Yeah.
big, big, big milestone. I mean, for those that aren't at 10 years, like what do you think you've learned, or what would you do differently? Or I mean, maybe not do differently, but like what is sort of, if you were to come up with some themes over the past 10 years of like, some insights or lessons or things that you know now that you didn't know back then. What do you think with those couple things
Yeah,
were?
I mean, there's probably a couple things from a couple different eras of the business in the last 10 years, right? It's evolved
Yeah.
so much from what it was back then, but um and to be clear, I had another part-time job for about 4 years, the first 4 years, and so I wasn't full-time that whole 10 years. I
Yeah.
just want to make sure that's clear. Like it was a hustle, and it still is, but like working another job to kind of keep the lights on at Rovan and like pay rent and all that. Um, but yeah, it's, as far as a couple takeaways and what I've learned in the last 10 years, um, that it's, mistakes will be made and they're still made, and to take those as lessons and learn from them and apply to, future applications. And I'd say the biggest key, like, um, to, I guess, success that I've learned in the last 10 years is it it's less important on how you build things and how great your um joinery is in woodworking or even your finishing. I'd say the number one most important thing in business is communication, and like being willing to accept criticisms and praises, of course, but just general communication. Like our clients value the way we communicate as a company, which is we never leave somebody hanging. If it's like there's something that went wrong, or they need a quote really quick, they're like, "Can you do this by tomorrow morning?" I'm like, "Yes, I got it." 99% of the time, that translates into getting the job because we're there
Yeah.
for the client,
Yeah.
and they see that too. And I'm like blasting off emails on my phone while I'm sanding. I'll like take a 2 minute break, send off an email, send a quote, get back to whatever I'm doing. And the clients are like, "How do you get anything done? Because it seems like you're just emailing all day." I'm like, "Well, kind of am, but that's a huge takeaway that I've learned." And somebody told me really early on, they were like, "Just nail the communication, and if you can back it up with quality work, then that's just like
Yeah.
that's just
Yeah.
the that's just it."
I mean, well, I don't want to interrupt your train of thought on like your biggest lessons, because I think this is super valuable for the community. I do want to talk a little bit about the communication and keeping it high level and responsiveness. And tell me if you think this is right. That sometimes woodpreneurs don't get the communications rights because they're obsessed with the end product and obsessed with the work versus doing the things that get the work. Meaning that the idea of getting back to somebody with a quote within a reasonable amount of time, being flexible with adapting and changing, not responding well to like going back to, finish the work properly. You know, all
Hmm.
of the things that like, because when even if we're working with residential clients, they could just be so particular that it's like annoying that because they're so not good at that on the high level communication and the
Hmm.
responsiveness that they hurt themselves because they're so focused on the work that
Yeah.
they don't prioritize that. Do you think that
Oh,
resonates?
absolutely. Because all woodworkers that are in this industry and owners of companies usually are in it because they love building furniture or like building whatever, whether it's cutting boards or cabinetry. We start this industry because that's what we want to do. And all these owners, including myself, are having to adapt to like not necessarily be the builder anymore, but now we're the visionary
Yeah,
person of a company. And that comes with um, customer experience. Like, it's
yeah,
one thing to build a great dining table,
yeah,
but the hardest part is, yeah, how's the customer experience? Like, we're not just building a table and like dropping it off at their front door and being like, see ya. It's like, no, we're going to walk you through this design process, and we're going to be really transparent on the pricing and like how things work and finish samples and design drawings. And then we're going to build it and you can come by the shop and see it and like, have a time walking through. And then we're going to bring it to your house and walk it in and place it wherever you want. We're going to dust it off and like polish that thing. And that's the experience. That's the hardest part is like, we're not just
it's
building
really
dining tables.
hard.
It's an experience, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's really, really, really important. I'm kind of convinced that like so I had a client that like just recently is just skyrocketed. And I asked
Hmm.
him, "What do you think? What do you think like why do you think you're doing so well?" And he said, "I think because I get back to people on time."
Yeah,
If that's the
absolutely.
bar, can you imagine like you know what I mean? Like if that's the bar, what does that say about our industry?
I know. Yeah, it's true.
And then at
Yeah.
the same time too is like now like just through this conversation, literally through this conversation, I've just realized why people would rather choose to buy something from a big box store
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
to go through the hassle of having to deal with a custom furniture person.
Yeah. No, it's true because when you hire a custom furniture builder, you're definitely going out of your way. It's like you're signing up because you want to go through that experience. It's not the easy way of buying furniture, but you got to really want it. And thankfully, oftentimes our clients do, of course, they're hiring us because they want something ultra special. It's going to last generations to come, and that's a driving factor for a lot of people. If you want, yeah, just a dining table to get you through the next 10 years,
Yeah.
we're probably not the guys. Yeah, we're not that kind of shop. We want to build something that is going to last for generations.
What so communication is the second one. What do you think are some, two more things that you've sort of learned building this business?
Well, it's, the next biggest thing would obviously be quality. You have to have the quality to, of your work that is yeah, just I want to say breathtaking, but it rarely ever is realistically breathtaking. But the best response we get from clients are like, we've had this handful of clients lately that just have this physical reaction and give us like big hugs when we deliver something, and that's like the best
Yeah.
feeling. We've had tears. It's like so fun to see these reactions, but it's based on the quality. Like when the
Yeah.
client sees the end product, that's the ultimate um, test. And yeah, that's something that comes with time. I think back on some of the early projects. I mean, we've
Yeah.
changed so much as a company. Like our quality is constantly getting better, and it has to. We have to keep like getting better and pushing the limit on what we can do. Um, and as far as one other thing that I've learned over the 10 years is to be there when something goes wrong. Let's be real. Like not every project's gone perfectly.
Yeah.
But if we show up when something goes wrong with who knows what, whether it's assisting with a broken piece that in shipping, like some things get damaged, and that's like we're there to communicate with the client, like help find the right way to repair that, or if something goes wrong and we're there to back it up and make sure it's right, chances
Yeah.
are we're still going to get a return client out of that project because we back our work up and we don't like run away and just collect the check and see ya.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part too, is like, obviously it's a bummer when anything goes wrong because we need to be on to the next project and like keep up
Yeah.
with
You
our
can't be losing
timeline.
money. Yeah.
No, but the reality is that's like so important for us to pause and almost take two steps back, make sure that client is situated and happy. And it's going to slingshot back. Like that client's going to come back
Yeah.
and keep hiring because they know we'll back it up. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. No, absolutely. So how big is the company now after 10 years? Like
yeah. So I have three employees,
awesome.
including myself. I'm now an employee of the company basically. And then we have like just a network of like six or seven subcontractors that we hire for specific things, like metalworking or wood turning is a big one lately.
Mhm. For leg?
We got this, yeah, a lot of dining table legs, all kind of custom dowel work. I got
Yeah.
this awesome dude he kills it at doing these custom dowel legs, and just yeah, so it's become like a network of these subcontractors that are just really good at what they do. But in the shop every day, it's the three of us, and we're growing. We're actually hiring right now. We're just trying to get some more hands in the shop, and
Amazing.
um, yeah, just we're experiencing some growth, and so we're just trying to navigate that in real time.
How do you get most of your clients?
Yeah, that's the magic question, right? 10 years in now, a lot of repeat clients,
Yeah.
and that's great. We've developed really great relationships with a lot of great local interior designers, as well as a couple outside of Minnesota on the coast. And those clients keep coming back. They get a new project that benefits us because we get to most likely do something on this project. And
Yeah.
we've become, this great partnership. And word travels, right? Like it's a small world, the interior design community, the architecture company or community. Um, Word travels and our name's been thrown out there, and that shows that like, there's new clients coming in now because, our name's thrown out there. But
Mhm.
in the early days, the first 5 years, it was such a hustle to just meet these designers and get our name out. And that was, of course, handing out business cards like crazy,
Yeah.
attending events, and just trying to rub shoulders with whoever I can and
Follow-ups and everything. Yeah.
follow-ups. And I would just, and this was actually at the start of like the big brewery boom, if you recall, which was about 10 years ago. And there were so many breweries opening around here. I would just cold call and email, and I'd be like, "We want to do your tables, your bar." And if I would send 50 emails and I'd hear back from maybe three, and I got one of those jobs, at the time I'd be busy for 4 months. So that
Wow.
just filled 4 months of my year, right? And so it was worth that. And I've built relationships from brewers we did back then, and so you know what? It's still a hustle, and we still find new clients by using new methods. It's not necessarily the handout business card thing anymore.
Yeah.
It's it's um it's social media, and it's kind of like we're going to try to do this like new marketing thing where we've targeted some clients we want to work with, and we're going to send them a 10-year anniversary box of just like our company
Hey.
and things that represent our company, and be like, we want to work with you, and make it really intentional on who we
Yeah.
send those to. And
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
um, so that's how it looks 10 years later, right? That's the new method for us,
How
at
are you
least.
spending most of your time?
Um, Average day looks like computer and design work about half the day. So I usually do that all morning until about lunchtime.
Hmm.
Um, and then I like to, if I can, jump in the shop for the afternoon. Um, my role lately is obviously much more on just like the management and computer side of things. But as I touched on earlier, I started this because I wanted to build furniture.
Yeah.
And if I don't get to do that, if I don't get to like get dusty in the shop for a couple
Yeah.
days, it does a number on my mental health. I'm like, I need to get back out there and make some sawdust. And so I try to do a little bit of that every day if I can. But certainly a lot of times it's computer work and it's logistics and design work, which is my role. And that's where my time is best spent. Because frankly, the guys I have in the shop do it better than me.
Yeah, yeah. Which it
It's
should
time.
be at a
Yeah,
certain
yeah,
level. At a certain level, you need to hire people that are better than you, and
exactly.
like they can teach you stuff, which is,
Yeah.
which is honestly the best thing. And I'm kind of on this kick lately because I actually have a client. One of my podcasts is where are you getting your lumber from?
Oh, there's a couple great local spots here in the Twin Cities. That there's a couple places called Metro Lumber, Industrial Lumber.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's a couple smaller ones too.
Hmm.
But what's nice about these big lumber yards is we have it delivered to our shop and load with a
That's awesome.
forklift, and so because we're getting large enough quantities now, where we're not like hand selecting boards like we used to.
Sure,
We're just
sure,
like,
sure.
just give us 500 board feet of 8/4 maple,
And
and
you'll make,
and
yeah, and they give you,
yeah,
yeah, they give you the best quality. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, yeah.
That's cool. What was I gonna say? When you think about the future and where you'd like to go, like where, what's the next 10 years look like?
Yeah. Yeah, something I think about often, which is kind of my role in the company now, right? Is like making sure these guys stay busy in the shop and how do we grow? Um, and for us, that looks like diversifying our streams of income. Um, we're a custom furniture builder right now, and we're going to keep that going, but we're going to get into also like the manufacturing space of like wholesale manufacturing of OEM parts for other companies and
Mm.
hopefully for ourselves too as we kind of work on a product line that's ever evolving. But
Yeah.
um but yeah, we want to manufacture for other companies. So whether it's the same component for a chair that we make over and over again and we keep our machines running. That's kind of the idea is like we have the skills to build a really high-end product. So we're going to try to channel that into just making other parts for other companies as well. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. What about what are your main like what's the bread and butter product
yeah,
that
bread
you
and
do?
butter right now would be like dining tables.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Dining tables, we've just got such a great I'd be hesitant to call it a formula, but because everyone's different, right? Like everyone we build is different from the other.
Mm-hmm.
But we're just really good at those. We're really good at doing tabletops and like a custom base, and we just nail
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And delivery is so smooth, and there's a great profit margin on a custom high end dining table.
Yeah,
Um, so that's what we really that pays the rent for sure.
for sure.
Um, yeah.
So dining table is one, and what's number two, you think? Commercial or
Number
built in?
two, yeah, probably commercial spaces. We try to get about one every quarter, so four like big commercial jobs a year.
Yeah.
Um, whether it be a brewery, like we just, in the second quarter of this year, we did a brewery down in Des Moines, Iowa. Um, this third quarter that we're in, we're doing a jewelry store. We're doing a ton of furnishings for a local jewelry store.
Yeah.
Um, And so, like, yeah, as long as we can get a big job once a quarter, that
So
keeps
like,
us super, super busy, and we can kind of fill in with
yeah,
other
yeah, yeah,
dining
yeah.
tables while we're doing that big commercial job.
And where do the built-ins fit in? Like, is that quarterly or like couple bigger, or is it, can you
That,
knock out monthly?
as far as like built-ins, like cabinetry and things like
Yeah, yeah,
that,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's something we can knock out monthly. Yeah, that's unless it's depending on the scale, right? But
Sure,
yeah, it's something
sure.
that we do monthly and like built-in shelving and stuff. That's hard because that requires an install, it's not just walking in a dining table and plopping it
Yeah,
down.
yeah,
There's a lot more to that.
for sure. What are you your audience, are they live edge, not live edge? Like, where do you, or do you do
Generally
live edge?
not. Yeah, people don't really know us as the live edge shop. We
Yeah,
can do
yeah.
it. We have done it in the past.
It's
But we
it's it's
generally,
interesting. I mean, I look at your aesthetic and I don't see live edge, but like, I guess your audience isn't really down with that either, right?
no, unless depending on the case, but yeah, generally our clients aren't looking for live edge stuff. They're looking for ultra modern, more like riffs on white oak,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
really
yeah.
straight, like elegant, modern stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
But we've done our fair share of live edge stuff. In fact, I used to work at another shop locally back when I was working part time, and that was all I did at that shop, so I know it well. It's just
Mhm.
we've kind of developed this aesthetic that we're just not the live edge shop that people seek out, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
There's
yeah.
people that do that so well, um, and I have all the respect for them. But yeah, it's just, we're
That's
not
cool.
known for that. Yeah.
That's cool. Hey, so this is a part of the podcast where I ask you any marketing or business questions and give you advice. So, what can I help you with?
Yeah. As far as like a good weakness, that we would love some advice on is like website and digital presence. Something that we can always work at,
Yeah,
imagery and social media, that kind of thing that is the face of it's actually, what people probably look at most. And I
yeah.
feel like it's a huge opportunity to really elevate, and that's always a something we're trying to work on. So,
So what's the specific question you would have regarding that?
yeah, how to elevate our website, and how to elevate our social media, probably in, within one another, but just to better attract clients and,
Mm-hmm.
you know, further
Yeah.
growth.
Okay. So I'm looking at your stuff and um so I'm looking at your stuff and the one thing, like your work uh is beautiful. The thing that I
Thank you.
don't the thing that I don't necessarily see here are like, so I when I talk about like the types of marketing, like the Woodpreneur marketing, it's like branding, community, and sales.
Hmm.
And what I see first is like branding, and it's really good. What I don't see is the community. And what I would love to see more of is when you deliver work to your clients and their reaction. Like you said, people have like a physical reaction when they see your stuff. Like if there was like a Rovan moment, I just made that up. It's just like it's a moment when you finish the work and you deliver it, and the reaction from the client. And so this is so and the other thing too that I don't necessarily see that can potentially tie it all together is the fact is the branding of Minneapolis.
Hmm.
Like, and I don't know if that's intentional or not, but like even on your Instagram bio, I don't see Minneapolis based, Minneapolis custom furniture, which will help with search engine work,
Yeah,
but it comes off like you're you're not anywhere. You're like you're just
sure,
a brand online. And so
sure.
I think two things. One is highlighting the work, your commercial work, and tagging and engaging with your commercial work clients and their community. Because if you're doing work for a brewery or a restaurant or a nail salon or whatever, or a hair salon, all of their clients can literally buy tables from you.
Hmm.
And the second thing is, I think you just need to rep your city a lot more. So, the first people that I think about are like Sandtown Furniture Company. They rep, do you know them?
Yeah, I'm familiar with the name.
Yeah, so they rep Baltimore, Maryland.
Okay.
Philadelphia Table Company. Where do they rep? They rep Philadelphia, right? Like there's not like a you need to connect your locale because once you start to connect the locale and because you I mean, I have a client in like suburbs of Minneapolis, Sawmill. We turned on his a website and he got like 14 leads in the first week.
Hmm.
He had clients searching for him that he didn't really know yet. Isn't that wild?
Yeah,
And so
yeah,
for
it's
me,
amazing.
I'm like, I haven't done the research, but I'm like, how many people are looking for custom furniture in Minneapolis? And because your Instagram, your social media, and your website aren't optimized, that you could be getting some natural, or I mean, you live in a major market. It's not a small market.
Right.
Um, and then the third thing is like, I just want to see pictures of your customers. And I want to see a video of you walking the table into their home.
Yeah, yeah,
And then I want to
that's a
see a
great idea.
selfie with you with your clients. And these are all little low-hanging fruits, but
Yeah,
to me it's like it's connecting and making it human because for me, if I look at your work, it doesn't look approachable. It's beautiful, but it doesn't look approachable, meaning that it's flat aside from the reels where I see your team doing the work, but it's
yeah.
flat. And where social media is it's about dimension and 3D, right? And so if
Hmm.
you can see, feel, touch, hear, and bring your customer as close as possible to it, like that would be really, really clutch for me.
Yeah, that's a
The
great
other
idea.
th- the other thing that I'm looking at your like, dude, you gotta have Minneapolis in your thing. Like Twin Cities, Minneapolis, custom furniture, right? Like and then
Yeah.
and and then you gotta make use of the highlights on your Instagram bio. Like all of the stories you could just save them. You could put
Sure.
tables, furniture, built-ins, commercial work, and then you just put highlights on each. And then lastly is like I want to hear your story. Like
Hmm.
I want to see you get on stories and talk about what you're working on daily. And I want to see what I want to see like interviews of your team and the
Hmm.
project that you're working on and just like updating people and carrying people on the journey. But here's the thing. When you first start doing it, you're going to be like this is stupid. 5 people are watching this.
Yeah.
But the more consistent you are, you're going to get hundreds of people. You have 7,500 followers. And if you mimic that same thing and then you share it to your Facebook page, and I would I would guess that you probably have upper middle class millennials, uh, some Gen Xers, and lots of boomers with a lot of money that live in Minneapolis that buy your stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that your demographic?
Yeah, mostly the probably more boomers side. We're starting to see some upper class millennials, which yeah, but I don't
Yeah.
know if we've had any Gen X yet. Yeah.
So the boomers with the money,
Yeah.
dude, they're gonna take their time, but when they know, they'll know.
Yeah.
And you know who you look like
Who?
to a boomer? You look like their friend's son.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, their son's friend. That's you look like their son's friend.
Sure, sure.
Their son ended up going down another path, right? Maybe they got a private equity banker job. But you're their kid's friend who went off and became a furniture maker. And so uh and you're trustworthy, you do good work, and people would definitely buy from you. So and again, I don't know if this is intentional, but I'd like to see your face more. Like after 10
Hmm.
years, dude, listen, and this is probably the last piece of advice. So you're about to, head into fourth quarter. This is your 10th year, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I think by the end of the year, I think November's a wash, but I think first week of December, um, I think you need to do a 10-year anniversary holiday party.
Hmm.
Like, quickly pull that together. Do it in your
Yeah.
shop.
Yeah.
Have your best work laid out. Invite every single one of your clients and your customers and your prospects. Get one of your brewery clients to sponsor. Get your restaurant clients to sponsor. And you say, and you get like, pick the date now. Make it the first Wednesday of December or Thursday right after Black Friday. And you
Hmm.
frigging hammer it home, and you just bring people, and have a sale. I think you can do a 6-figure month in
Yeah.
December
Yeah. That's
and
a great
get
idea.
everybody that has um bought from you in the past. Like, you don't even need, like, have stuff that's finished out already, or have a projector with the work that you did over the past 10 years. Sign up people for design consultations, uh, free designs, have stuff that's made already, have that a deep discount.
Hmm.
And then literally that's what I would do. I would make Facebook ads. I would invite everybody get all of your interior designers, literally the people that compete with each other, have them
Hmm.
all there. Aim to get, how many people can fit in your shop?
Oh,
100?
100? Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. Get 100 people there. Get 100 people there. Get the best DJ with the biggest audience in Minneapolis to show up. You put on a tux and make it ridiculous, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I just,
and you know what I mean? Or like, no, seriously, like, you get a tux and get your logo embroidered on the tux, have your team all embroidered, like, with your logo on it, and just go crazy. Like, this is what I mean, I just had a client. I have clients that, like, when they do events, they make money,
hmm.
because you may not make money right then and there, but, like, you're gonna sell $100,000
Right.
easily in custom furniture projects. Your contractors, designers, interior designers, architects, clients, current clients, past clients, prospects, because there's a lot of people that are in your Gmail folder that have requested stuff from years ago, but they couldn't afford you. Everybody. That's what I would do this first week,
Love
is
it.
to pull together a big ass email list.
Yeah.
Pick a date, make a flyer, an invite, have an Eventbrite link, and invite people to your free thing. And then hustle all of your brewery people and say, I need for you to do a keg because I'm doing a holiday party. Then I get your your restaurant people to cater. Get like the three. But this is the key. The key is, you need an attraction, you need free food, free drinks, and maybe you do like a crazy raffle. We're giving away a dining table, a 10-year anniversary dining table.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
giving one away, and then you say, we're making a limited edition amount of 10 of these, and 10 of those cost $10,000. 10 limited edition, or you'll make 11 because you're going to give away one. Make 11, give away one, sell 10 for $10,000, and you're going to give 10% of it to a charity. Boom. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's $100,000.
Yeah. It's a great idea. I like
Do
it.
it. Do it.
I
No, no, no,
like
no,
it a
no, no,
lot.
no. This is your
Yeah.
priority. No, you have to do it because here's what I told my client yesterday. They just did a ribbon cutting for their grand opening. It was a ribbon cutting for their business. They had 40 people there. They had 40 people that they didn't know show up. These were prospects,
Cool.
clients, right? Like they weren't their friends and their family. They were 40 business people, people that they could do business with.
Yep.
And they ended up getting like a design consult, and there's going to be like, whatever. They're going to make money on the back end of it. But I said, you know what I told them? I said, you could have sold shares in your business for
Mm.
$2,500 each
Mm.
to everybody that was there because
Mm-hmm.
they wanted to be part of your story. They showed up at on a Wednesday at 9 a.m. 40 people. Who does that? You know what I mean, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so the thing that I want to stress to you and I want to stress to everybody that's listening is that when you put together an event and people show up, that is energy that needs to be harnessed. And I learned this from like running a nonprofit. So I ran a nonprofit for a long time and I raised a lot of money and used to do galas. And when I did my 10-year anniversary, I did a 10-year anniversary party. And it was a dinner that I paid for. And I invited my best donors. And this is literally the same thing with you at my 10-year anniversary. And then I had one person who I said that I knew that I was going to donate $1,000. And she said, I will donate it. I said that we're going to set it up. You're going to donate $1,000. And she said, but only if 10 other people match me or 9 other people match me. So I said, hey, look, this is our 10-year anniversary. We want to do something amazing for anybody. I was like, this person's going to donate $1,000. And there were 50 people there. And so I said, and she said, she will only donate it um, uh, if 10 other people raise their hand. 40 people raised their hand.
Wow.
So I'm going to say this too, is that this is amazing what you've just had because 10 years, that's a lot of people that you've impacted.
Yeah.
You probably got old employees too, right? That you've impacted.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm like 10-year anniversary. You could invite the mayor. You can probably get a proclamation that day. You can probably get the news outlets to come. I would probably get an influential, uh, uh, like personality, to come and do a Q&A with you so that it positions you as the leader. And then at the end of the Q&A with the pictures and the proclamation, like, hey, we're going to unveil. And then you like take off the cover to the table. Like, we're going to do 10 of these. We're going to give 10% for every one of these, instead of 10%, forget that. You sell a $10,000 table. You're going to give $1,000 from every table to a charity in Minneapolis. And it's like literally only 10 people out of millions will be able to get this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, that's a special
Love
moment.
it.
You can pull that together in 2 months. I know you can. I know you
Yeah.
can because you've been in business for 10 years. I'm telling you stuff. I'm basically looking at you and I know that you can do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know
I
you
mean, it's,
can. Dude,
yeah.
wait, listen. All those people that you were going to send that box to, I'd rather you send those boxes to people with an invite to your 10-year anniversary party.
Yeah. It's a good idea to kind of loop it in with something like that. Yeah.
You could still do it, but invite them to a party. You already have the space, so you don't need to worry about that. You have the relationships. The hardest thing that you need to do is to pull together a list and then repeatedly email them. Repeatedly email them. All right, that's it. I know I literally just gave you you're going to have a
I know it's,
six-figure. You're going to
I
have a
was making notes.
six-figure December that you are going to, and we'll do a recap on this whole idea. Cool. Any last bit, or was that helpful?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, no, really good, helpful tips. I wrote them all down. I
Okay.
think, yeah, we'll work on all those.
I'll follow up after this. I'll follow up with you, and I'll give you the recap. I'll give you the play.
Awesome.
But anyway, I'm really happy that I talked to you.
Me
I love your
too.
work, and I think you can. I'm just excited to get to know you. Tell me any last bit of parting advice for the Woodpreneur community?
Oh, man. Keep on keeping on. It's a hustle, but it's worth it. At the end of the day, when we get to create something with our own hands, it provides some sort of deep down, um, purpose in our life as makers. So it's
For
important
sure.
to keep doing it. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. What's your Instagram and your website so folks can follow you?
Instagram is at Rovan Furniture. Website is rovanhandcrafted.com.
Cool.
Check us out either one of those. Yeah.
Awesome. Andy, thank you so much for your time. I look forward to sharing your story with the Woodpreneur community.
Thanks a lot for having me on.
All right. Take care. We are just releasing our latest training. And over this training, I go over how I helped generate $200,000 and 300 leads for clients. And during this 45-minute training, we will go over the frameworks, the strategies, and the concepts that you need to scale from 6 figures to 7 figures, or even just get started. These are the building blocks that I've seen help wood, lumber, furniture, millwork companies grow and scale. So I've been hearing it lots of times, like, I just need a training, I need a training. So we finally put it together. So wherever you're consuming this, just click the link in the description and you'll be able to access it.